Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Jasmine the Buffet Witch, but you already know that because you be knowing things and such. Welcome to a foundation video. I'm just pumping these out if I can, and I think it is time to really start trying different foundations because some are working and some are not. Today's foundation is going to be featuring the Revolution Skin Silk Luminous Serum Foundation. Revolution, not really a brand I talk about on my channel besides the lip glosses that I like in Starlight or Glimmer. Every once in a while in the blue moon, I've liked a Revolution product, namely my Splendor bronzer in medium was the love of my bronzing life. But it's not a brand that I really check for when it comes to complexion. I'll say this with my whole chest. Revolution's shade range, trash. Trash. Once you get to the dark shades, absolute garbage. Undertones, wear. And just variation and diversity, non-existent. Okay, non-existent is harsh. It's there, but it's not good. So I don't typically go to this brand. This is a YouTube made me buy it, so I thought I would give this a go. I can't remember what foundation this was likened to, but I decided to give it a try. So far, I've worn it twice, and I was quite surprised. Does this mean I'm going to dive into the brand? No. Maybe other products, but not foundations or concealers. I hate their concealers because they always smell like melted plastic. It's very weird. Freshly opened melted plastic. But as it is, we do have shade 13.5, which for me is typically always too freaking gray. So I'm gonna give it a go, and oddly enough, this doesn't look terrible out of the bottle. So I'm not going to color correct it or anything. We're just going to get started. Concealer today, we're going to be using the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer. I just heard from watching a video today from Jan Van that apparently Juvia's Place has a new concealer. Let me find out there's a Juvia's Place app. Is there an app? And I don't have it. What is wrong with me? Anyways, I'm going to start by applying my concealer. And this is shade 9, right? Yeah, shade 9. We're going to let her cook, let her marinate right under here. I do have lots of blemishes. I just did some skincare, guys, and take away the hyperpigmentation. My skin is doing phenomenal. I'm so happy, okay? Anytime I do have blemishes, I know how to treat them now. Learning the 60-second cleansing rule, game changer, game changer. It almost don't even matter what products you're using as long as you actually give your skin a fighting chance to work with it. So very happy. Skin is looking hydrated and smooth. We are cleansed, we are toned, we are serumed, and we are moisturized. Okay, so I'm gonna let that sit. I'm gonna go ahead and get some brushes. I just cleaned all my brushes. They're fresh, ready to get dirty again, and I'm gonna use one of my favorites from Ulta. And we're going to be using brushes for my concealer too, because I need to re-up on my triangle sponges because they all fell apart. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and just pump this out right on the brush. How about that? Just right on the brush. We're going to work with one pump first, and I'm just going to apply this, and we'll go from there. Smells nice. I don't know how to explain that smell, but it smells better than their concealers, I'll tell you that much. And she is quite neutral. That is a good thing right now, but sometimes it can be a bad thing. And I'd say we're getting about full coverage. Definitely medium at the lower end of the spectrum here. So I'll go ahead and pop her on. So I've been wearing makeup to work. Last night I wore my NARS soft matte. And again, she is anything but. And in Instagram posts when I had talked about the soft matte foundation from NARS, I said how it is a snitch. She will snitch and tell everybody where your mustache is, and she still will. And she is not kind to texture, dryness, lines, wrinkles, any of the things. Unless you have porcelain, even gorgeous, well-behaved skins, Miss Narzisha, she gonna have something to say, and she gonna say it loud, okay? But now that I won't say I've perfected my skincare because I still clearly am getting blemishes, But now that I can treat my skin and its issues a lot easier, a lot faster, and I know a little bit more about how to properly hydrate and balance my skin, when I wore it yesterday, it looked really nice. It looked really nice in my entire shift. So I've gone from a 10-hour to an 8-hour shift, and it looked pretty good. Now, when I first got to work, just the 7-minute ride from my house to my job, my makeup looked like it was breaking down. I was like, what is this nonsense? Now, I don't set the NARS, and I may have to start because I did end up having to set it a little bit with my NYX HD powder. And I had set my under eye concealer, and what did I use? I think I used Juvia's Place. Yeah, I used my Juvia's Place concealer as well. I think. I can't remember. Whatever concealer I used, I set it with my Lermer. Miss Lermer. Miss Mercier. I did. And it was completely broken down. It was creasing and drifting and all this stuff under my eyes. I was like, what? Lermer? Maybe I didn't set it enough. I don't know. But I did end up setting my entire face, and mostly my T-zone, but my entire face with my HD powder. And then after that, it looks great. So we're going to give her another chance. We're going to give NARS another chance when my skin is properly hydrated, exfoliated, and all of the things. Because I think she does have, you know, she has some merit here in my collection. So we're going to give it a go. But anyways, I've just been pouncing this foundation in. I don't want to manipulate it too much. I'm just seeing how the coverage is going to be and making sure that everything is in its place and set down. We don't have any tackiness for when we go to set this. All right, the coverage looks really good. The color also not terrible. Like I said, they are not the best at undertones when they get to the darker shades, but I didn't say they're the worst. They just could definitely stand to do better. They really could. Heather Austin just did a haul video, and she had talked about Revolution lipsticks, I think, and she said, you know, Revolution is really known for its hits and misses, but when it hits, it hits. I won't say this is a hit yet, but right now, she isn't sucking, okay? So, we are going to move on to the brows. I want to give my concealer a little bit more time to do her thing. We're pulling out the Color Case made by Mitchell. I know I'm boring. I'm sorry. I like to do what works, and I have been having the worst time trying to do my brows lately. I don't know what it is. So we're going to use something that has a little bit of a little bit more flexibility in its ability to work for me. I'm feeling bleached brows today. Should we? Should we do bleached, or should we do like brown? Like reddish brown? I'm kind of feeling bleached brows. Let's do bleached, okay? So I'm going to start with, you know what? I'm going to come back because this doesn't hold a lot of footage. I'm just going to do my brows and probably blend out my concealer, and I'll come back and we'll set all of this, okay? Real quick. Okay, so we are back. Our concealer is blended out. Our brows are on. I couldn't decide which color to do, so I did them both. It's wonderful being the boss of me. Let's go ahead and set our face, and we'll talk about this foundation. So as it's been sitting on my skin, it's warming up a lot. It is very dewy, very radiant, dare I say. I don't want to say it's greasy, but it is very, like, we got a lot of shine going on here, okay? So I don't have any lights on, and I don't know if that will help you see anything or not, but we're quite shined here, okay? So I am going to want to powder this down completely. So let's go ahead and do that. For the under eye, Fenty I always say Cashew because that's the shade I typically use, but this is Honey. And I'm using my e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush, which I actually prefer as a setting concealer brush instead of like wet concealer, but it works for that as well. And I'm going to look up, hold on. We're just going to smooth out any creasing. Okay, and I'm going to start quite heavily from the outside in. I just want to set the powder down, and then we'll blend, or we'll like really get in there and buff that away. But because I'm not using my triangle sponge, I just really got to like set it down somehow before we do the rest. So I'm going to take that down the side of my nose. I don't know if you can see me. I know that this is a powder that can get very dry. It can look very dry, But with my oily, dehydrated skin, I need that at least right away. And then I've gone back to using my what is that? The Fix Plus to melt everything down. But the first thing I need to do is set everything, and I like to set quite heavily, though I'm not baking. So I just need to get it down, and then we can dust that away, okay? So I don't need it to stay on long, but I do need like pound cake, okay? Pound it in. Make sure everything is dry before we start to really manipulate, and then we can move on. So guys, one thing I still have to try is the pink powder. I did buy one from Morphe, and it was definitely a YouTube made me buy it, because I don't actually even know like how that came about, why we're doing it, what it's supposed to do besides brightening. Maybe that's it, I don't know, but I do have one, so that is going to be an adventure for all of us, right? Okay, gonna go ahead and do this side. So again, load her up and outside first. That way I don't disturb the inner portion of my under eye where I want most of the coverage. And then we can just tap that in. So I'm getting powder all over my pants and things, but that's okay. We shall endure and sacrifice our clothing so that our under eye looks good. So yeah, I kind of like that this is can be a quite drying powder. I feel like I have really great staying power with that, because some of the concealers I use, namely my Nikki K, is a very, very emollient powder. So it just kind of stands to reason that something that's a bit heavier and drier would work well with that. And I have found that it does. All right, now I'm just gonna dust that away. Nice and brightening, but not too bright, you know? Cashew and honey are good shades for me. All right, I like that. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. And honestly, I wouldn't even spray that down. So for the rest of the face, I kind of want to go in, actually. I kind of want to pick out my warm saffron, but we will refrain. I'm going to go ahead and use my pressed powder from Fenty. So really quick, I'm just going to tap betwixt the brows and anywhere that looks a bit extra oily, just to make sure everything is you know, where it needs to be, and we're not going to be moving things around when I use my powder brush. So I'm going to swirl in this. I'm going to get it nicely packed, and I'm just going to tap. I'm not going to swirl. I'm not going to buff. I don't want to disturb. I just want to set. And as you see, it's not setting very easily, but she's getting there. And I'm also doing it lightly because I don't want too much added coverage from this powder. I just want to like get rid of the shine. The brows are funky, aren't they? I like that. I love this color case. Next to the hollow face palettes I have had from various brands, the color cases are my favorite purchase I've ever made. Like, I love them so much. You know what? Before the year is out, I'm going to buy backups of all of them, actually. I hear Maybe Mitchell is going to be coming to Ulta. If you do, please bring your color cases. I actually commented that on one of his posts about coming to Ulta, and he liked it. I said, please, please have your color cases in Ulta. They are amazing. And he liked it, so maybe that was his way of saying, I got you, I got you. I hear you, Jasmine, I got you, okay? I got you. I hope so. Okay. So today is a a bonnet and a hat and do-rag day. I did, while I was doing my skincare, I just hydrated my scalp and massaged my scalp-a-roni, and I just didn't feel like having no weaves, no hair, no nothing on my head. So I love the way I look with just like some type of fabric on my head. Love it. Okay, so that is that. Now, the Fenty powder did darken the foundation just a bit, and honestly, even though I've set it, I'm still seeing a lot of shine right here. So instead of going back in with that, I'm gonna go get my NYX powder And I'm going to set that because it's an HD powder, no color, and it really set everything down yesterday when I used it. So let me just, it's just right over yonder here in my little vintage pouch that I take to work. I love this thing. Okay. Where you at, girl? There you are. Wonderful. Tiny, compact, always ready when you need her. Okay. So I've just been using my little Real Techniques brush to, did you just see the way I tossed that? Like I didn't care about it. Okay. Yeah, just right here. Just looks like it will not set. So I'm just going to tap her. I'm going to go around my mouth. Okay. So like I said, I've worn this foundation a few times. And when I say worn, I've played in it. I rarely wear foundation out. And when I do, I'm using Holy Grail status foundations that I know are going to do their job, okay? Although NARS is not a Holy Grail, it is a super, super matte formula. So the chances of it breaking down on me, likely, but not as likely as foundations I haven't, tested and worked with. So just not something I'm willing to gamble on when I'm going to work. Not that I wear makeup at work for anyone, just like I want to look nice, I want to be comfortable, and I don't want to have to worry about my face slipping and sliding and coming off on a patient when I'm trying to draw their blood, okay? So yeah, so far the foundation looks pretty nice. The powders are sitting well on top. Although I don't like the fact that I just had to double set, it's not that big of an issue. I mean, there are other foundations that do that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do my bronzer blush highlight situation, probably pop on a lip, and I will come back to you with the finished look. We're not going to do the eyes here though. Okay, so I will be right back in just a second. Okay guys, so we're done. This is the full face. Of course, like I said, I'm not going to be doing the eyes here, but we've got our cheek situation on, as Dion would say. We've got a lip on. The lip is so basic, girl. You're probably going to be so sick of me. Sick of me. Guess what it is? Do you know what the dark lip is? All together now. Juvia's Place Sheba. Yes, I know. Boring, but wonderful. And the gloss, I don't know why. All of a sudden, I am literally obsessed with it. Oh my God. I'm obsessed with this. And I just remembered that August 3rd is the last day of International Lip Day. I should see if I don't even want to tell you now, because what if I go look at it and it's out of stock because I told y'all, now y'all all got it and I don't got it. Oh my God, the dilemma. But I have been loving my Lancome. Again, these don't have names. The shade is just 383. I've been loving this gloss just over lip liner, or just like lipstick just on the edge of my lips as lip liner. It's just, doesn't it look like I did a lot? It looks like there's more stuff on my lips. It is literally just Sheba and this, only because I didn't feel like using a dry lip pencil. So that is the lip combo, and it is a combo for the gods. Gorgeous. All right, I'm loving it. But that is the face. We are hydrated, yet not slimy or gooey, because I don't like the goos, okay? This foundation feels okay. It feels just a little heavy. I felt like when I was putting my bronzer on, I felt a little bit of a tug from the brush against the foundation, but it's not terrible. Is this a foundation I think I would wear out? No. Just from the way that it feels, from the way that it's wearing right now, I don't think I would have very long before this was slipping and sliding and like down my back or all over my son and my husband. So for me, it's probably going to be a face play type deal, which is fine. But I am pleasantly surprised. Now, the real test will be whether or not my skin breaks out after this, which is always a fun game. We love gambling, don't we? And if it doesn't, it's something that I'll continue to use. I don't know if it has any bearing on whether or not I will continue to buy from Revolution, besides the two lip glosses that I love from them. But for what it's worth in my collection right now, it has a place. So that was that. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all in the next video, which will be very, very soon. Until then, please drink some water. Take care of yourself. It's been me, Jasmine the Buffet Witch, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.